Did you know Aqua broke up like 100%? Well, here's a story about one of their main artists the first time that happened, back in 2001. It's time for music stories. This is who we are and this is what we do. And when I found out last month that Aqua was breaking up, I literally had only one thought, which is, but what about their side project, Lazyboy? Yes, the insane spoken word electronica outfit Lazyboy was basically just a combination of one of the members of Aqua with another member of Aqua and some of the craziest session musicians and voiceover artists you would ever recognize. This album, Lazyboy TV, was in my rotation for so many years as a young kid. I think it is one of the oddest one-off projects of the 2000s. Yes, I know they had a single in the 2010s. I'm going to take you all the way back to 2001. While taking a break from Aqua in 01, Soren Nystrom Rasted decided to break out on his own and started exploring other pop and rock projects, including his then-wife Lena, Sort Soul, and John Norgard, and he was figuring out how to do his own producing and mastering and figuring all that stuff. Then in late 2003, Soren teamed up with a few session musicians, including Toby Chapman, a man with a truly insane level of credits, including the likes of Babylon Zoo, Girls Aloud, and Spandau Ballet, plus legendary pop producer John Douglas, and from there came up with an album called Lazyboy TV. Over the next few months, Rasted worked with the likes of Greg Giraldo, Julie Berry, Andrea Grant, and random people from literally across the entire globe to create an album that affected me a lot more than I had thought it ever would. Lazyboy TV was originally released on November 4th, 2004, and it is a strangely fascinating album complete with only 11 tracks that were originally a mix of synths and simple beats and people speaking over said synths and simple beats, which Rasted later called Rhythm and Speak, which I guess is not hip-hop? By the time the album was released in November, the album already had a chart-topping hit in April of the same year with Underwear Outside the Pants. It was a largely featured stand-up from the late great comedian Greg Giraldo. Giraldo was a rising comic and he had an undeniable, unique observational stand-up style that clearly resonated with Rasted because it was enough for him to reach out and put together a track that encapsulates the hypocrisy of American freedom in the wake of a post-9/11 world. I don't know if that was Rasted or Giraldo's intent, but I'm going to take it. Another track on the album that became a hit on TV and on the iTunes charts was Inhale Positivity, and the album also was a huge hit in here, Australia, which is where, obviously, it topped the ARIA charts at number 5. It was up against these albums, which is fucking insane. The album was a surprise hit of 2004, with critics favoring this very short and very simple album as a fascinatingly fresh, odd, and a wonderful way to basically celebrate the year that was 2004. Johnny Loftus reviewed the album back in 2004 for AllMusic and accurately reflected that the album is humanism set on burst mode, which I think is a wonderful encapsulation of the album. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the song We Only Read the Headlines and Facts of Life, which also there was a weird music video for. It also, I will say, Facts of Life and We Only Read the Headlines has a lot wrong with it. There's misinformation in there. I've thought about debunking those songs in like a satirical Cinema Sins kind of douchebaggy way, but I think it's very, very niche. I still have this album after 20 years because I think it is a wonderful relic for a pre-Web 2.0 time, because I think it's oddly fascinating how we try to connect in that early period of time. Yes, this was a huge iTunes hit. Yes, it was a bit of a novelty album, but after the release of the album, it's kind of sad that Lazyboy TV never made anything else. Soren obviously went back to Aqua. He also wrote music for the Royal Danish Opera. Aqua obviously reformed in 2008, and then he eventually divorced Lena Nystrom in 2017, which is tragic. They apparently still remain on good terms, and they were still performing in Aqua up until obviously last month.